I went into medicine to suffer. This isn't the only reason, but I think it is the biggest motivating reason for me. One of the most influential books in my life has been The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. In one of the chapters, it talks about how we should pick the problems we do want in our lives because there's always going to be something to complain about. We spend much of our lives talking about all the things we don't want, but we absolutely should be thinking about the problems that we do want in our lives. One of the examples given was that if you were an office worker in an open office environment, you couldn't have the privacy you wanted, the view sucks, you had set hours, and the pay was less than what you dreamed of. Well, the counterexample was that you got promoted, and now you have to deal with the window blasting your eyes when the sun goes down. You end up having to work extra. You have stress of added responsibilities of keeping the company profitable and providing jobs for all the people you're responsible for. The point here is to think about the problems that you actually want. Do you want fixed work hours? Do you want to be constantly thinking about work? Do you want to be doing something exhausting? Do you want to be doing something mind-numbing? As I've gotten older, I've realized that I'm always going to feel the spectrum of emotions from happiness and sadness. Further, I would say that there's always going to be a part of me that's satisfied and a part that's unsatisfied. This ties into the ideas proposed by Buddhism and the concept of the hedonic treadmill, which is that there is an observed tendency for humans to return to a relatively stable level of happiness, despite the positive or negative changes that may happen in their lives. This is echoed from a medical perspective, where if you were always in an extremely high mood state or in a chronically depressed one, it would be considered pathological. As such, we understand that it is expected to feel the spectrum of emotions. For this reason, I've tried to stop chasing more happiness and I've decided to focus on what I actually want to have in my life and what I want to do with my life. For me, it's realizing that if I'm always going to feel partially unsatisfied, angry, and or upset, at least let me feel these things about something that I would consider actually important. Based on this, instead of being angry that I don't make billions of dollars, my coffee wasn't made just the way I like it, live in a mansion, and have people serving me everything, let me be upset at our limited ability to care for one another. Let me be upset that someone is very ill, because at least that drives me to try and make them better, as opposed to trying to hustle to make more money by any means possible so that I can buy more stuff that I don't really need. This brings me to why I like oncology. I would much rather be upset by thinking about things related to someone trying to live with cancer than be thinking about how if I do this thing on a video and title it a certain way, I can make thousands more and get more sponsors to advertise stuff I really don't care about. I think cancer is something we generally understand as a society as something incredibly grounding. We tend to quickly shut up about our problems when we hear about someone losing all their hair, constantly feeling fatigued, constipated, and throwing up all the time. Seeing this, we recognize how fortunate our current position is. So let me constantly be reminded of this in medicine. Let me be upset by the fact that my patients are dying and suffering. Let this drive me to give my best pursuing ways to try and solve or manage these problems.